Well, understandably, this is a controversial bill allowing gun owners to carry concealed firearms without a permit in Utah. And it passed through the House of Representatives.
Salt Lake Tribune columnist Robert Gehrke joins us live via Zoom to talk about some of the issues with this change. Robert, this is a big change for Utah. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, it's something that's been talked about at the legislature for many years. Back in 2013, the legislature passed this bill. Governor Herbert vetoed it, and he said at the time that he thought the system we had in place worked. He thought it protected public safety and served the interests of gun owners as well. He said that it made sense to have these checks in place, to go through a training, to get a concealed permit, to have a background check to get a concealed permit. And so he vetoed the bill in 2013 and kind of kept it in check after that by threatening to veto it again if it came up. Now Spencer Cox, new governor, has said that he's willing to sign it. As Dan mentioned, passed the House. It got through a Senate committee on Friday, so it's teed up to pass the Senate. And the proponents argue that it's not a big deal, right? If they point to somebody who, say, is out hunting in the woods and has a gun on their hip and it starts to rain, if they put a jacket on and it covers up the gun, then they're breaking the law technically if they don't have a permit. It seems like it's going to be a little bit broader than that, and I have some concerns about it, frankly, and I've talked to other people who did. You've got these checks in place. You've got training that has to be done in order to get a concealed permit, which would go away, obviously, if they don't have to have that permit in place. They don't have to do the background checks. Another thing that we would lose in that bargain is that that during the course of a year, just last year, the Bureau of Criminal Investigations rejected almost 2,000 applicants for concealed permits because they weren't eligible for it, whether because they had a criminal record or a mental health history or some other issue that prohibited them. And they revoked 783 existing permits. They suspended almost over 1,800 others. And so we would lose that check. We would lose the training. I talked to a suicide advocate or a suicide prevention advocate who said, that one of the things we'd also lose is there's part of the training is that they train people in suicide prevention. And that they trained almost 160,000 people just last year. And those are people who are most at risk for suicide. These are white middle-aged male gun owners, in large part, and so they would lose that element as well. And also one other thing, that the law enforcement community was opposed to this initially when the bill was first released, and that's the police chiefs, the sheriffs, the prosecutors, and so forth. And so they feel like, yes, it could make our jobs more dangerous, frankly, if there are more people who are unvetted carrying concealed weapons. And so there's some real concerns about this bill, I think.